saying. I remember being so wrong sometimes, and they like stay in there. That Oh Sheila song by Sheila E. I always do, Oh Shiva. Okay, let's all fours in a tabletop position with the feet at the wall. And walk your hands just a little bit forward of your shoulders. Just a little, and make your index fingers more like train tracks. Spread the fingers evenly and press more through the inner edges of the hands, of your fingernails, and without moving them, squeeze the thumb and the index fingers towards each other. Huge breath in, feel it in the sides of your waist. And now rather than moving your hands back with the soles of the feet at the wall, bring your shoulders over your wrists. Lift your knees and hips up and back towards downward dog. And if you come into this downward dog and you feel like your hands are really far forward of your shoulders, you can walk your hands back a little bit. And then lift one foot just hip height at the wall, just hip height, tuck the toe. Okay, and now push that ball of the foot through the wall to straighten the leg and your other foot to meet it. Both legs straight, both arms straight. Press through the hands, try to push the floor away. This part's gonna move towards the wall. Yes, gorgeous. Press your feet, press your hands downstairs to lift your hips up to the, press your feet through the wall and to what you see and feel. Can you make your arms straighter? Can you make your legs straighter? Can you take one breath and then into pose? Questions, comments, concerns, conundrums? Yeah. Try walking a little bit closer and then think bottom ribs towards your spine. It's a great question. Okay, we're gonna do that again. If you wanna try it again, maybe other foot comes halfway up the wall, or if you wanna turn it around and kick up, this is your handstand opportunity. If you want help with the kicking up, ask for help. And I just wanna offer this for food for thought, and if you can remind me, we'll work on this more next week. We're just going somewhere else today in our asana flow. If you can do L pose, you have everything in your physical, natural body that it takes to do handstand, and the biggest obstacle is what's going on in your mind, and that elephant head is often our own biggest obstacle. You can play with kicking up, play with it as an experiment today to be like, what is holding me back? Or like, what do I think is physically holding me back? Because that'll also to what's mentally holding you back. And then we can tie that into our practice next time. So if you can do L pose, which we just did, it's physically harder than handstand. Handstand is mentally harder than L pose. And Ganesha is that to see our obstacles in perspective. And the obstacles are our self-perceived limitations. Bring ourselves into perspective, then we overcome, or in a mindful sense, I've been thinking about this a lot lately in my meditations, mindful bypassing. Not quite there yet to teach about it, but that there is this way in which I think spiritual bypassing is a bad thing, and yet there's this Ganesha aspect to like, what do we need? Like exactly what are we bypassing when we're on our mats so that we don't have to bypass it when we leave the mat. Does that make sense? Like there is something happening here with the way we're lassoing and goading our minds and our feelings so that they're in better alignment when we go back out. So you have to actually like look for what's getting in the way in order to be able to bypass what's getting in the way. There's no way to get past it without knowing what's there. So feet against the wall and tabletop for L pose. You can also, I'm going to talk folks through an L pose variation if that's what you're going for. Play with your handstand to see where you're at. You can, even if it doesn't turn into a handstand, you can play with kicking up and just see, and you can call us over for help. So you have an option to sort of do your own thing in handstand here, or let's come into tabletop position with the feet at the wall. Spread the fingers evenly, lift the knees and hips up. Bring one foot hip height at the wall and pause. You're going to push that foot through the wall so that the other leg follows it. Okay. Push through the arms. Squeeze the index fingers and thumbs energetically towards each other. Float your right leg straight up to the sky, heel to butt cheek. Squeeze that knee to the midline and press your heel across the room. Molly, and squeeze the knee in. Squeeze the knee in more like you're squeezing a block with the back knee. Yes. And then switch sides, that foot to the wall, other leg to the sky, heel to butt cheek. Squeeze the knee to the midline like you're hugging a block. Nice, and press the heel across the room. That was awesome. And rest. Same thing we did upright, right? We did the same with a foot on the ground. Questions, comments, concerns? Did that help? Good. What? It's helpful for handstand too, yeah. The hugging. One of the keys to like, once you're comfortable kicking up, finding the midline, finding the balance and handstand, all about hugging to the midline, those blocks. A lot of times, conditioning for balancing and handstand is to, have those blocks between the legs, and then once you're in handstand, those blocks are there, you balance, because you found the center. And the more you orient yourself around your center, the more steady and balanced you feel in a world that is unbalanced and unsteady. So we're never seeking the steadiness outside of ourselves. We're here to find it within, and it's always present. Because fucking capitalism. Since when are kids sneakers? It's absurd. Yeah, not my kids' sneakers, but just saying. The ones I wanted to get. Yeah, so it's all about reorienting ourselves to our center. We're going to shift it around. Let's come onto our backs with our legs up the wall. The best way to get there is to start with your right hip on the right edge of your mat so that when you roll onto your back, you're in the center. This isn't what I wanted to do right now. Okay. I want you to go first. No, can you guys actually back it up? I'm so sorry. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert, we're gonna be going there, but we're not there yet. Just scoot yourself back as best you can on a sticky mat. Just kind of make it as graceful as you can until your feet are on the ground. With your feet, can you get your feet back to the floor on your back? We're gonna be moving towards legs up the wall. I'm going to give it to Melissa for bridge pose.
Okay, everyone, grab your blocks. And just like when we were was that a no? Just like when we were standing, start with your thigh on its shortest distance between your thighs, and then a middle distance between your shins. Just a different relationship to gravity. Bring your feet underneath your knees, like in bridge pose, hips width distance. Confused, raise a hand, I'll come over to help. Yeah? Yeah, well, bring your feet, I can actually help you with this. Then let me bring it this way, between your shins. Walk yourself back, actually, give yourself some space, yeah. And then here, squeeze the block. We did it backwards, there we go. Cool, okay. Yeah, of course. Hug your legs into Now we've done this before. You might be feeling already a sort of wound, like a soreness, but remember we're wise where we're wounded, right? Hug the blocks between your thighs. Then keep that as you press the back of your head down into the mat and lift your chin. The littlest, feel your breath flow. Bend your elbows. Shimmy your elbows together by your side. So all of this, and squeeze the blocks. On an inhale, press down through your feet. Exhale, lift your hips. Hug into your blocks. Now you can stay here with your elbows bent, or maybe you interlace your low back for a supported heart opener. If you clasp your hands to your back, see if you can bring your wrists together. Keep squeezing the block. And on your exhale, slowly release your hands, lower your hips down, take a moment. I know we talk a lot about like the midline here at Three Queens and in general, and the block is like a physical manifestation of your midline, like if you could cut your body in half from head to toe. So we want to squeeze into that midline to engage our legs. Now let's remove the blocks for a second. We're going to try something a little different, a little off kilter. Bend your elbows, hug your arms in towards your sides. Imagine the blocks. Remember where you're wounded. Inhale, press your feet down into the ground, and then exhale for bridge. Now you can stay here with your feet rooted to the earth, or maybe you bend your right knee in towards your chest without letting your hips dip, and then exhale, press your foot up towards the sky for a single leg bridge. Now inhale, hug your legs together like the blocks are still there. Hug your shins in, hug your thighs in towards your midline. Use your glutes to press your hips up. On your exhale, lower your foot down, lower your hips down. Take a moment. What questions do you have? Okay. We're near Shavasana, we're near death. Okay, last round, other side, feet underneath your knees, bend your elbows. On an inhale, press down through your feet. To exhale, lift your hip. Another, shins in another. Now stay here or bend your opposite knee in. And without moving anything from the waist up, press your foot up towards the sky. Think, press your bottom foot down and away from you to lift your hips and squeeze your glutes. Hug your thighs in. And on your exhale, lower your hips down, lower your feet down. Your feet wide, let your knees. Bring your feet back underneath your knees. If you still got juice in the tank, I'm going to talk you through Urdhva Dhanurasana. If you're like, no, please stop, bring a block underneath your low back or sacrum for a supported bridge. If you're following along with me, bring the blocks between your thighs as a reminder, a tool of what we need to lift up to Urdhva. We'll set up here. Feet underneath your knees, bend your elbows. Squeeze the block between your thighs or hug your legs towards the center of you, towards your midline. Now on an inhale, press down through your feet, and exhale, lift your hips. Keep squeezing the block. Option to stay here or begin to flip your palms wide by your face or by your head, and then bring them wider than you think, like past your mat's edges, to give yourself plenty of space. Squeeze the block, then inhale, press yourself up just so you rest on the top of your head. Suck your armpits in so your arms connect into your shoulder sockets, and then squeeze the block to inhale, lift yourself up. Urdhva Dhanurasana. hug your legs in towards the center of you. And from there, pump your heart forward towards the wall in front of you. Breathe. On your exhale, slowly lower down, upper back, middle back, lower back. Move your blocks off to the sides. Bring your feet underneath your knees. Take a round of windshield wipers from side to side.
Thank you. And enjoy just the noticing of how much the breath deepens and expands. In the face of like that effort to overcome a self-perceived limitation, the role the breath plays. You feel in a back bend. Okay, let both knees fall gently to the right and pause. The deepest, fullest breath here that requires the least amount of effort. With an inhale, draw the legs through center, and on the exhale, they can begin to fall to the left gently. And pause there for another of the deepest, fullest breaths that requires the least amount of effort. So we're not overexerting in the effort to breathe. The breath is always there. The breath breathes us. And just by turning awareness to the breath, again, it deepens and expands. That's what we're going for. Breath that requires the least amount of effort. On the inhale, draw the legs up through center. Cross the right ankle over the left thigh. Bend the left knee in towards the chest. Thread the right hand between the legs and interlace your hand behind your left thigh. Let the head, neck, and shoulders be heavy. And the tendency with the right side bend is to tip to the right. Flex the right foot and tip a little more weight to the left hip, to the left. And breathe deep into what can't be seen, can be felt. On the exhale, release. Feel both feet on the ground. Cross the left ankle over the right thigh when you're ready. Bend the right leg in. Thread the left hand between the legs. Bend the right knee in. Thread the left hand between legs. Interlace the hands behind the right thigh. Flex both feet. Spread the toes. With the exhale, really soften and settle through the shoulders and head towards the earth. And then as you press leg into hands, tip a little bit more to the right. Yeah, feel the difference? The sense that you feel as you orient yourself to the center. It's a change in perspective. Like the nature of the lower body, the baby body, is going to be to tip us to the left there. We have to consciously shift a little bit to the right in order to feel the center. And it's a different perspective. That's true in all of our poses, just a little here. That's the voice of the Virgo or the Ganesha aspect of your nature. It's like the goat is like that little prod, that little application that just brings things more into alignment. Release. We're gonna roll all the way onto the right and do a little inchworm scooch to get the butt closer to the wall. Get just as close as you can, butt to the wall on the right edge of your mat, and then roll onto your back with the legs up the wall. Remember this. Flashback. Just let the thigh bones sort of root into the hip sockets here. This is a very different perspective for your hips, pelvis, and legs. Let the head be heavy, let the shoulders release. Now you can stay right here if you're finding and sensing like a nice calm sense of center here. You can rest. Yes. Otherwise, bend your elbows alongside the waist like you would as you blades together on the upper back like a little cradle or nest for your heart center. As you press down and the center back of your skull down. Bend your legs just a little bit so that the soles of the feet come to the wall, just as much as you need to bring the soles of the feet to the wall, feet hips width apart and parallel. And now feet into the wall, and without moving, energetically pull the feet down the wall to lift the hips up. You're in an inverted bridge pose. As the hips lift up, maybe you wriggle the shoulder blades in a little bit deeper. Feet are like at the height of the knees. Press your feet into the wall and down to lift up. You can imagine hugging a block between the thighs. You can bring your hands to the back of your waist for support, sort of lift your hips up over your shoulders. Keep the chin lifted so the throat is open. You can stay right here or extend one leg to the sky. Hug the other knee to the midline and press the right foot into, the foot that's at the wall. I don't know that that's your right foot. Press the foot at the wall into the wall. Hug that knee to the midline. And without moving that foot, energetically pull that foot down to raise the extended heel up. Yes, feel that? It comes from the bottom leg. That's the part we overlook. Now the extended leg comes to the wall. Extend the other leg straight up. Flex the foot like you're holding up the ceiling with your heels. And then as you hug the other knee to the midline, push the foot into the wall. Hug the knee into an imaginary block and pull that foot down to raise the roof higher with that up heel. Good, then both feet to the wall or both heels to the sky. One final breath or two, and shoulder stand. You can try to take the hands higher up the back towards the shoulders, hips more over the shoulders. You got to hug to the midline. And then feet to the wall, slow motion, hips to the floor. Enjoy your breath. Offer yourself 3 of the deepest, fullest breaths that require the least amount of effort. It doesn't have to be 3 breaths in a row. Just 3 of the consciously deepest, fullest breaths that require the least amount of effort. And as the breath deepens you, scan your body with your awareness to notice what you feel, how it feels, and where you feel it. Not to reduce yourself to one thought or feeling, but to actually notice how much of what you're thinking and feeling. Is there anything that needs to be let in? Anything that needs to be let go? And as you scan your body with your awareness, does it make the most sense for you and your access to sweetness in this time and space to stay in some variation of legs up the wall? Or would you prefer to come off the wall and make your way into a restorative posture or a traditional Shavasana, corpse pose? And as you're ready, prepare yourself for a final relaxation. We heat the body to cool the mind. And as you soften into stillness with each consecutive exhalation, allow your body to get heavier, to let the muscles release their grip on the bones. And to let the bones soften into the altar of the earth. The eyes soften, the brow, the jaw, the throat. And as you rest your head in the lap of the earth, allow yourself to be breathed. Trace the breath in, take it to heart, the gift of life. And as you exhale, let the nature and spirit of your heart pour out the currents of your exhale far and wide. The broken tusk tells the story for all future generations to have access to deeper truth and understanding. The broken tusk tells the stories that allow us to see ourselves more deeply, more clearly and fully. And so too does each and every broken heart. In other words, each and every one of us have a story to tell that gives to the world and those future generations insight, wisdom, deeper shared truth and meaning. There is truly sweetness in the broken places. Invite a deeper breath in and a longer breath out. And for once and for the time being, let the breath itself be like the elephant in the room, worthy of all the awareness and attention that the gift of life surely offers. This breath ignites your heart, and the splendor of your heart informs, illuminates, and inspires your mind and your body, so that now your thoughts and your actions more clearly reflect and reveal the nature and spirit of your heart, all in alignment with the indwelling light and the source of virtuosity. In turn, the enhanced capacity to bring things into perspective, to make things sweet. In a world that is salty and sour as shit much of the time, it's up to each and every one of us to align ourselves, to hold things in perspective, to find and seek and share the sweetness. Imagine that. Hold that vision in your heart of hearts, your capacity for discernment and creating sweetness. An optimal alignment as the spirit that you are begins to gently awaken the body that you have, wiggling toes and fingers, stretching arms and legs. Feel as the body that you have affirms and adorns and embraces the spirit that you are, literally wrapping yourself around yourself, and you are truly the gift of life. If you're at the wall, you can sort of push through, bend your legs and push through your legs to scooch yourself off the wall a little bit. If you're reclined, you can bend the legs, feel both feet on the ground. Just take a moment, everyone, to call yourself down to earth. Enjoy a breath. Stay with your breath as you call yourself back to reality. And as you're ready, with your breath, gently roll to one side. Press through strong arms. We'll find our way together into a comfortable posture with the eyes closed and the hands held together before the heart in Anjali Mudra. And a gesture of sincere self-reverence that acknowledges and honors the voice of the true teacher, always present, intrinsically peaceful, utterly powerful and luminous, never further than your heart, which is never further than your breath. Your breath is always this vehicle that guides you, turns you into your heart. And then the gesture is one that places the heart before us as a guide and an offering in all we do. In so doing, bringing more sweetness and virtuosity to those in the world around us. As you bow to your heart, with all my heart, I bow to each and every one of you. I thank you so much for your presence and your practice together here today. And more than anything, I thank you all for all that you are and all that you do every single day of this life. Thank you so much for your sweetness, your beauty. Thanks, y'all. Thanks for being here and being together. I signed our contract for Greece on Friday, second chance for bringing it back. I mentioned I peaked on happiness, happiest I've ever been in my whole life, 3 days in a row. I did not expect that. I knew it would be good. I did not know it would be that good. So we're going back July 20th to the 26th. If you know you're interested and you want to lock in your payments at the lowest price, maybe like send me an email or a DM and I'll put you on my personal first round of emails that are going out. And then it should go live in a week or two through the studio. Also, I am indecisive about booking Mexico for this winter. I have everything. I just can't make up my mind how we feel about going to Mexico this winter. So if you have any thoughts or desires to do that, maybe send me a message, let me know. We go to Tulum. It's super easy to get to. It's not that cheap. but it's super easy to get to, and we have a great time when we go. The food is great, the accommodations are great. The more I go, the more I discover. So I've been going to Tulum for over 20 years, so I'm like really a good person to go there with. But we would be doing that in March. So Greece is July 20th to 26th. Tulum would be much sooner. If you're interested, let me know, because I got to decide. Also, our Three Queens After School Movement Club starts on Wednesday, 3:30 to 5. It's 15 weeks, yoga and mindfulness, strength training, conditioning, and self-defense. Kai is starting his Rooted and Ready 4-week self-defense series for adults, Mondays throughout September in the evening. Foundation of Teaching Kids Yoga, Guiding Little Spirits into Stillness and Play is on Saturday, September 6th and Sunday, September 7th. Forever Postpartum Newish Mom Support Group with Clara Rogers is Mondays at noon, September through November. We're starting our 50-hour yoga immersion September 12th with Anisha, Adriana, and special guests. That runs one weekend a month. It's about 50 hours, one weekend a month, September, October, November, December. It's amazing. It'll take you so much deeper into your practice, the many practices of yoga, the history of yoga, comparative philosophy, the intersection of yoga and current events, AKA social justice, and great community. There's so much. Harmonious Healing Sound Bath with Elizabeth is Sunday, September 14th. Oh, and my teacher, Desiree Rumbaugh, is here this month. Money back guarantee. You do not want to miss this opportunity. Desiree's been my main teacher for over 20 years. I used to study with her every year up to COVID. I haven't seen her since right around that time. And she's coming from, she divides her time between Southern California and Mexico. And she's coming here September 19, 2021. You do not want if you have the time but not the money, reach out. We're going to be here anyway. I want you to be here. And if you have the money and the time, it's a money back guarantee. I promise you, she is a living legend, and you don't want to miss this. Desiree Rumbaugh, September 19, 2021. We got a beginner series coming up. We have restorative yoga. We have kids yoga fun night. There is a lot. Happy Sunday of the summer. You know where to find. Anyone else have any announcements?
If you loved Single Lake Blue Bridge, I teach here Wednesdays at 7.
Yeah, you can get it again. Get it again.
Or request something else, we don't have to do it.
Thanks, everyone.